It's time to take a look at college football as it moves into the final third of the season. Here to help me break it down are college football experts Alex Rosenbaum and Greg Brzezowski. Now guys, there have been a lot of undefeateds right now. There are currently 8 still remaining. 2 very surprising ones in Missouri and Michigan State. Who do you think is more likely to win their conference, Alex?
I think it's Missouri, and this gets into the question of who's the better team and who has the easier conference. Yes, the Big 12 is a lot tougher. You got 5 ranked teams in there right now. Everyone's beating each other. Texas can beat anyone on any given day. Missouri, though, is the number 5 ranked defense in the country. They are explosive on defense. They get after the ball, and they stop these other explosive teams on offense, the Big 12. And their quarterback, Blaine Gabbert, doesn't make mistakes. And that is the key to winning games, and that's why they're going to win the Big 12.
It's all good and everything, Alex, but you're forgetting that, as you mentioned, Big 12 is a lot tougher than the Big 10. I mean, Missouri still has to beat Nebraska on the road this week. It's a very tough matchup for them. Michigan State, meanwhile, has to beat Iowa on the road as well.
Iowa
tough matchup,
on the road.
But then after that, they coast. They've already won 8 games. They only have 4 more remaining on their schedule. And you're forgetting the big part. They don't have to play a conference championship game.
And that is big, but they played overtime against Notre Dame, which is awful this year. And
they
barely beat Northwest last week. So I think they're going to slip.
Okay, moving on from those 2 undefeateds, let's talk about one more. Everyone wants to talk about Boise State. BCS rankings just were released, and they have gotten jumped again. Is this fair to Boise State?
It's not fair to Boise State because this team is a high-caliber team. They haven't lost yet. They're undefeated, but they're being penalized because they play in the WAC. They still have a ranked matchup for them in the remainder of their season. They play 24 Nevada later on in the year. But, you know, you see these teams keep jumping in front of them, and it's not fair to Boise. This team is a quality team, and they're being punished because of their conference.
You're right. It's not fair, but it's going to continue to happen because they haven't beaten anyone. It's the same problem Oregon's going to have because the Pac-10 is pretty weak this year. Teams like Missouri that have beaten multiple ranked teams, teams like Michigan State that beat Wisconsin and Michigan, they're going to keep jumping these teams because they have the tougher schedule, and that's all the computers really care about.
Boise beating number 10 Virginia Tech or Oregon State?
But Virginia Tech lost to James Madison.
We could go back and forth about the schedules and whether or not who is who, but we can both agree that the WAC is the most aptly named conference in college football. Let's move on to the next big topic. Obviously, there's so many scandals going on in college football this year. One of the new issues that the NCAA and the NFL are talking about is finding college football players that are deemed ineligible by the NCAA when they are drafted. Is this a good idea?
It is a good idea, but the NFL needs to stop playing big brother to college football. They pushed back the draft requirement, so you have to be after your junior year, and now they're talking about doing this. The NCAA just needs to pay the players and come out and do it. They make the money for the university, and the NFL is going to suffer. But it's not going to stop the problem. Players who are poor coming into college will still take loans from agents because they need the money in college. So in theory, great idea. I would love for it to happen. It's not going to work, though.
Absolutely, but I appreciate the NFL trying to help college football out and find an answer to a problem that so many people have had trouble trying to solve so far. I agree with you. They're not going to be able to solve this totally. There's still going to be agents who try to get involved in this and give these players these freebies and this money. It's not going to end, but I think it's good that we're finally getting to move on with solving this problem.
I agree. I don't think the problem's going to go away, and I don't think you can enforce it. It's time for a quick commercial break, but when we return, Joey is going to move into the hurry-up offense. Don't go anywhere.
Oh my gosh. Sam, I mean, that division's on the rise, right?
This is why I'm an MLB expert.
Oh, hold on. What are you doing?